Hello, everyone. Lovely to connect with you. I am just going to share my slides and then I'll get started. So my session will be 20 minutes long and predominantly based on Canva. But first of all, just got a few slides just to talk you through content creation in general. So if we get started, so content creation on Canva, and we will theme this around Instagram. So a little bit about me very quickly. I'm a mum to a 3-year-old boy, wife as well, and I left my job 2 years ago today to start my business. I previously led the marketing, all things brand, content creation and design for an organization that helped startups and people scaling their business. I am a lecturer, associate at the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and I originally started my career as a graphic designer, hence why my business specializes in content creation and come at things very much from a marketing strategy, but also a design perspective as well. So what is content creation? It's a little bit of a buzzword these days, but basically it's anything that could be a video, social media graphic, PDF lead magnets, so perhaps PDFs that you might give in exchange for people's email addresses that give some of the knowledge maybe that your business specializes in. It could be an infographic, a blog post. So chances are you might have created content without realizing it. And the goal is with any marketing to create content that your audience is genuinely going to be interested in, engage with. And of course you want it to be in line with your brand identity, your visual identity. So your color palettes, the fonts that you use, general visual consistency is very important, particularly in today's crowded market where it is very hard to stand out on social media. Branding and styling is incredibly important just to make you pop out of those Instagram feeds. So it's likely that you've all posted a blog post or perhaps a post on social media before, but now it's time to think about what content is best to reach your target audience. So what topics are they going to be interested in that's hyper relevant to the niche audience that you're targeting? It's so important to niche down. So I always say to my clients, aim to add value for free. And for me personally, as someone that helps with creative content, marketing, branding, that's about sharing the likes of marketing tips, hints on my Instagram. Follow along, it's at Hello Tierna. And that could be in the form of reel videos, social media posts, blogs, all that sort of thing. A tip that I always give to my clients before we get started is to batch cook their content just like you would meals at home. So time is going to be limited for all of you, I would imagine, given that most of you are either in very senior roles or own your own business. So batch cook it, and Canva is fundamental to this. It is a design tool for non-designers. And in terms of creating branded content easily, that you don't have to rely on a graphic designer like me to create necessarily. We can create templates for you, but you can self-edit. It is a game changer, it really is. And also, I'm sure it's saving a fortune on marketing bills for people. So keep it niche. Don't make all your posts sales posts. That's one of the things I always say. And aim to mostly not sell. If you aren't passionate about talking about your product or your service when you're posting on social media, then that's a bit of a problem, because why would your audience be? So show your brand to the best of its ability, make it shine, make it look amazing, and very quickly it'll start to stand out. So we're going to switch across and I'm going to share some Canva tips. It's a short session tonight, but I am going to do my very best to convey as much as I can within the time. So hopefully it'll help. So this is Canva. Canva is, as I said, a design tool for non-designers, and it's an incredibly useful piece of kit. And basically, as a graphic designer, you use a huge piece of software, several pieces of software called Adobe Creative Suite, which we pay hundreds for every single year. Canva, for an annual kind of cost, is just under the £100 mark. So it's quite incredible that the access to design tools that it gives you. It's limited. I do not recommend it for print design. I think it's a risky game to play, particularly if you're going to pay a printer to subsequently print whatever you've created, because you run the risk of maybe including a low image quality file perhaps, and all of a sudden you have a blurry pixelated image that comes out. I've had clients that have tried to send stuff to print with Canva and it's slightly backfired, but it is an incredible piece of software when it comes to screen-based design. As you can see on screen, you can create all sorts of things. Tonight, we're going to focus on Instagram, but you can also create the likes of presentation slides. So my slide that I had just now to open up the session, that was created in Canva. So let's just get started. So the main thing that you need to be aware of in Canva is the brand kit just here. It's an incredibly useful thing. So you can see here that my brand palette is in there, so very vibrant colors. I spoke to a longtime follower of me on Instagram, Aiding, who owns the Rainbow Tea Room, because I saw she's attending tonight. Hi, Aiding, thank you. So she's going to let me use her brand color for her tea room, just to give you a demonstration of how amazing Canva can be for any small business or large business as well. So let's get started. Create a design. You want to go to Instagram post. Okay, so using her colors, this is what I call the artboard, okay, and it's essentially your canvas. So you've got a blank canvas, what do you do with it? So if we take a really simple template just to start off, just to show how simple it can be. So these are the main tabs on Canva when you start to create, okay? The first one being templates, and that is Canva giving people the ability to sort of open source give out their designs. So designers from across the world have created these templates. So the trick is to make them your own and customize them to suit your brand. So we don't want, this is a lovely layout and it's very beautiful, but what we want to do is make it more akin to the tea rooms, okay? So let's first of all, apply our brand colors. So we click the background color, we go here and we'll select the lovely blue that's from the logo. Try that again. The lovely blue that is from the logo that I've taken from Aiding's tea room. And if we say, yeah, let's keep it as giveaway winner, okay, just for talk's sake. And if we use a little bit more of a punchy color from the palette, we're starting to then get into the theme. What we might want to do is go to elements. Now, you can get Canva free version, but I would recommend getting Canva Pro because it gives you access to a load of stock images, as in photography like this, but also elements. And you can see here a little crown with a Pro icon. It's incredible the access it does give you. So say for a tea room, what I could write in is cake. And I could apply something that would work with this brand. So let's go for something like this for expediency's sake, okay? And if we search then teacup, we will choose this little one, okay? Now, the lovely thing about this one is that if you look up here, when you click on the image, the color palette is entirely customizable. So we can make this be in the style of Aiding's brand. So let's not make the tea look green, but I'll adjust that. So you can see here, it's just a matter of point, click, and switch up those colors. Okay, and change that to gray. And a little bit of blue. Okay, so I'm going to scale that down a little bit. And then in true kind of Blue Peter fashion, I've uploaded a few of her lovely cakes, which were making me hungry before dinner time. And again, it's a matter of dragging and dropping. These are called frames. So where these ladies are, we want to replace those with lovely cakes. And we can again drag, drop, and go like that, and drag, drop, and go like that, okay? So we'll take this out, and what we want to do is to try and use the Canva template, but we don't want it to be a cookie cutter of what everyone else in the world is doing, because let's face it, millions, billions, whatever people have access to Canva, so you might as well style it up to be your own. So I'm going to take out their fonts, I'm going to take out all their little patterns, and I'm going to do my own. Because at the end of the day, the goal with any brand is to be unique and to look visually impressive, but also communicate in a way that's going to appeal to your clientele, to your target audience. Okay, so what I could do is search, because it's called Rainbow Tea Room, let's search rainbow. So you can get the idea when you search on Elements or indeed within the photo library, learning how the search engine within that works. Once you get to grips with the types of search terms that work, I mean, it is incredible what you can find. So let's use, I'm going to find you a rainbow where we can hopefully customize the colors. Yeah, so this one's customizable. Those other ones weren't. So say we wanted to use the color palette for this brand. And we could change the little cloud to white. Okay, so we're starting to bring it together. And what a little thing that I like to do is bring in maybe a subtle background. So you can search things like geometric pattern. Okay, now this will look crazy initially, you won't like it, but in a wee second, I'm going to tone it down. So let's choose this one. We're going to layer it up. So put this up, and at the moment it's going to overlap everything on the page and look a bit nasty. I'm going to change that to white. I'm going to go right click. It operates in layers. So a little bit like when your teacher in school would have maybe put up questions and then layered the answers over the top. It operates in layers like that and stacks up. So we're going to go send to back. I'm going to go to transparency and I'm going to reduce down just so you have a nice little subtle pattern coming through, and it just lifts an image. It's incredible what it does just by using that one little checkerboard. Okay, so that's how you would create a graphic on Canva. It's perfect for the likes of customer testimonials, for this is just common content, customer testimonials, perhaps giveaways like this. It could be featuring maybe a product shot or meet the team, get to know me, all that kind of thing. You can start with the templates, but I would always suggest make it your own. So all of a sudden, this little inspirational piece of content here has turned into this, and it looks nothing like the original. And therefore, you're not going to have content that looks like every single other person across the world. And it's done very quickly. So we've got 5 minutes remaining. What I'm going to do is move across. I just want to show you what it's capable of. So video. It's amazing for video as well, and it's getting more and more useful in that sense. Someone has asked on the chat, how do you upload your own color palette? You can use what's called your hex codes for your color palette within that brand kit that I chose or put up at the start. So you literally type in the color codes and your palette begins to appear. So say we were doing a promotional video here, super quick one, the quickest I've ever done. We can go and click on, say, one of these templates. And I'm going to use stock footage, hopefully of a cake, but we'll see. If I search cake and videos, yep, by a stroke of luck, I have a lovely baking video. And I can switch up the color palette to rainbow tea rooms. We can say, welcome to, and this could maybe go on even, it could be go on social media, obviously, or it could go on, say, the screens in the cafe, for example. Okay, and let's take these out because it's nothing to do with birthdays, and we again want this to be our own. So if I choose our color palettes, once again, and you just strip out a few of these. Right click on group. So grouping is a thing as well to keep those. They wanted to keep those two together. I don't in this instance. And I'm going to change that to be, so basically the video editing works in the same way as it does for the graphic that I just made. And you can also go to audio and you could add the likes, English breakfast sounds about apt. Who knows what it sounds like? So we can pop that in. Okay, a little bit jazzy, but sure. And once again, if we just search cake, perhaps filter that by graphic, and let's put in that same little cake again, just for talk's sake, okay? So you can see how it can do an incredible job very quickly. There's other things it can do, like when you have a logo, you can maybe remove the white background from it. It works sometimes better than others. But But let me just show you what this would mean. So that's all. You've got very quickly an 18-second video that you could put as maybe an introduction to perhaps you talking about your business, for example. Take a look at my site, tiernaburn.co.uk, because you can see videos that I've created in Canva where I've spoken about my business. There's one on the homepage actually, or indeed on my social. So take a look. Not sure you can hear the sound. You get the idea, like you get a very glossy high-end video very quickly. Okay, so yes, that's it in a nutshell. Very quick summary is that your brand kit is key. Bring in your color palettes, type in those color codes, set up your brand fonts, and you can also upload fonts if you have a very specific font that is part of your brand identity, okay? And then from the homepage, you can go in and you can create a design on any of these things. They come pre-compiled to certain sizes. And the lovely thing as well is that if you create, say, an Instagram post, you can then tell it to scale to a Facebook post and make it rectangular, for example. This is really useful. Thankfully, that happened at the end of my session. That would have been pretty bad. But basically, you can tell it to resize to any size. You can do the likes of your LinkedIn banner, if that's a channel for you, your Instagram little highlight covers. You can do those lovely little circles and give your Instagram an instant lift. Anyway, if you have any further questions, you can ask at the end or just drop me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. I'm at Hello Tierna. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen here. So yeah, I have to summarize a lot in 20 minutes. I'm kind of used to doing this in like an hour and a half, so bear with me. I'll hopefully get to squeeze it all in. I was going to share a couple of apps, but I don't think I'll have enough time to do that today, but I will tell you the apps that I use to create a lot of these videos. So I am video production officer of Purple.media. I manage Purple.media and I create promotional videos for businesses for the last 7 years. Now, in that time, I have seen a massive difference in videos, particularly during lockdown. There was a massive shift when it came to TikTok, Reels, all these different types of videos that I was really not prepared for the whole world to change. It was always that you had to film in landscape, you shouldn't be filming in portrait, whereas now my clients are completely asking for a totally different style of videos. So I'm going to show you exactly what it is that everyone is doing these days when it comes to Reels and TikTok. So when it comes to all videos, whether it is a promotional video for a website, when it comes to YouTube videos or any type of video at all, I always say when you're writing a script, it's why, how, and what. This is exactly how you want to structure your videos. So it feels normal to talk about what you do or a bit about who you are, but you really should come from why you do what you do or why people should work with you or why the service is. When you come from a place of why, it definitely makes the videos a lot more engaging. So that's something I always include in all of my workshops just to start off with. So first things first, brainstorm. Before you hit the record button, you need to be thinking about what you want your video to be about. You need to provoke emotion. People buy feelings. 95% of purchasing decisions is based on how you feel. So you want to make sure that you're making your audience feel a certain way, especially if you're camera shy. This can come across that I know a lot of people who are camera shy can come across kind of robotic and stuff. So make sure you have your tone sorted before you get in front of the camera. Now, even when it comes to the Kardashians and stuff, like they provoke jealousy. Like, you know, feeling can be any kind of feeling. It can be excitement, it can be fun, it can be any sort of feeling at all, but you have to provoke some sort of feeling. Call to action. So whether this is adding text to the middle of your video, the start of your video, or at the end of your video, you need to have some sort of call to action. You can also write it in the description, whether it is visit our website, watch for my next video. In my videos at the end, I always say, you know, stay tuned for my next video. Keep it human, be yourself. Even if you have a script, I would say, especially if you have a script, if you have a script, you're more likely going to memorize the script. And again, you're going to start to sound robotic. So I would just give yourself a couple of pointers. If you don't want to talk in front of the camera, make sure that you smile. I know it sounds crazy, but when you're nervous, the last thing you're thinking of doing is smiling. So I would say just be aware of how you're coming across. It doesn't feel natural to smile and talk enthusiastically, because this isn't how you talk to people when you meet them on the street. But on videos, you have to be a wee bit more enthusiastic than you would if you met someone face to face. And keep it short. So we're talking about videos today that are between 15 to 60 seconds, like that kind of short, because Reels and TikTok are quick paced, getting it out as fast as you can. And this is a total new era of video. I didn't think video could get any faster, but it is. So when it comes to aspect ratios, this is exactly how you want to be filming. So when I film my videos now, I film them in portrait if I am using it for TikTok or Reels. Now, filming in portrait is really important. If you film in landscape, it's going to look very, very tiny when you upload it to the Reels platform or to the TikTok platform. Now, when you're filming on TikTok, it's going to have you film in portrait anyway, but it's just making sure you're holding your phone correctly when you're hitting that record button. Now, the apps that I'm going to talk about later, you can frame them into square, or there's different sizes that you can go by, but this is just the way, this is the different kinds of videos that you can upload onto Instagram. Now, which one better suits your business? So when it comes to TikTok and Reels, a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between the two? Now, they are very similar. TikTok is a short form of video app that offers creative content and the ability to integrate with popular trending music. And Reels are obviously on Instagram, which is a new feature that is similar to TikTok and offers easy, digestible, quick content. So they are both quick, they're both engaging. Now, as you can see, the views are higher on Reels than TikTok, but the engagement is higher on TikTok than Reels. So it's just choosing which one is better for your business. Now, for our business, for Purple.media, we do stick with Reels. We don't have a TikTok platform. This was purely because TikTok is very global and we wanted to really aim at our customers locally with the videos. And I didn't really feel the need to have like a big global platform, but I still do use TikTok. I just don't aim at it as much. So sometimes, you can play around with both. I play around with video on all platforms before I decide if it's right for the business or not. So I would definitely say, play around with both of them and see which one better suits you. Now, this is an example. This is Jim Moore, who is a local food blogger and content creator. Now, I had wrote to Jim. I really love his videos. I've been watching them for years. And it's so amazing. I've watched him grow just by putting out videos on Reels and TikToks. I'm going to show you some examples of what he has done. Now, he has built up 32,000 followers on Instagram, and this is totally developed in lockdown. Like he has got millions of views over lockdown. So I'm going to show you an example of the kinds of videos that he creates. So this is his TikTok account. He's got 214.1k followers. Now, I screen grabbed this a week ago, so I can guarantee he probably has more followers than this again. Now, the top 3 videos there, I'm going to show you the one that has 5 million views, just to get an idea of what kind of videos that are really, really engaging on the TikTok platform. And that's literally it. How long is that? So that video is 48 seconds and it got 5 million views. And he just completely blew up with these videos. Now, going back to feelings, this is making me feel hungry. This is making me feel jealous. This is making me feel like I want to go out and buy stuff. Like, it's the feeling. He is provoking this, this emotion from people that they just want to sit and watch. And I guarantee if you go onto his TikTok or if you go onto his Instagram, you're going to feel compelled to just keep watching and watching and watching. And like, he just makes food look so appealing. Now, the way he does that is he cuts it so quickly. Now that video didn't even have music in it. A lot of his videos do, but it's the fact that he cuts it so quick. So you see the onion, you see the lettuce, you see, you know, the mince being fried. I don't know if it is mince. I'm just assuming it's mince, but it's the fact that it's so pacey. He doesn't lose his audience's attention for 1 second. So when it comes to attention span, it's always good to remember a goldfish's is 9 seconds, whereas a human's is 8. So when it comes to cutting loads of snippets, I cut it into 4 seconds per clip. Now this is because I do want to be half a human's attention span. Even when I'm editing my customers' videos, even for corporate videos, if I'm out filming a school, engineering firm, it doesn't matter who, I will always stick to the 4 second rule. And it's just because when it comes to social media, you want to make sure that you've grabbed the person's attention and that they're not going to look away for a second. It really has got that bad. I used to say hello everyone at the start of my videos. I don't even do that anymore. I jump into today I'm going to talk about. You need to grab their attention in the first 2 seconds. So make sure that in those first 2 seconds, you're showing exactly what the video is about, and you're getting straight to the point. So this is an example of our reels. We play around with different transitions and music, and this was actually one of our experimental videos, but it's just to show you like how quick paced that they can be. So that video was 17 seconds. And the reason I did that video was just to show people that I had come across a new transition. And really it is just filming and moving your phone quickly sideways. That is literally, it's that easy. And these transitions are something that make your videos look really cool, really technical, but they're so easy to do, and there are so many of them out there. I learned a lot of my transitions on TikTok, to be honest, and then I upload them onto Reels. So Reels and TikTok, they're the exact same style, but I find that our Reels get an awful lot more engagement than our IGTV videos did, so we have stuck to Reels now. Another example would be we do behind the scenes videos. So in the past, I would have took out my camera, I would have filmed us filming that day. It would have took me maybe an hour or two to edit it together, whereas now I just edit little clips on my phone. I put them together on InShot, which is an app I'll show you later. And I literally do it before I even get home. Like, it's all quick paced. Like, I film and I edit and upload on the exact same day. Editing it on your phone means that you can literally just upload it directly onto the platform. I know a lot of people like to upload their footage onto laptops, but I would say anyone should get used to editing on their phone because it is so much easier, and it's so much less time consuming, and you can just upload it there and then. Now, keep in mind, there's no such thing as a perfect video, because I know a lot of people are scared to film and they're scared to upload because they think that they're going to do it wrong, but there is no right or wrong way to do it. Like, it's lucky because we're in an era of video where anything goes. So I would recommend everyone to try video. I know it's daunting and scary, but if you don't want to be in front of the camera, then at least film your office. It's coming up to Christmas time. Maybe film your decorations, film what you're doing in the office. But I would say try uploading on a reel, just because you'll see how much engagement that you actually get. So this is just an example of a behind the scenes video. Again, 14-second long video just to show what we're doing that day. So let's do it now or never, baby. Nothing's ever too far. Glitter in the sky, glitter in the eyes, shining so baby. I feel like we're every time we get together, but whatever, let's get lost online. So the likes of that video, that's even quicker than 4 seconds. I was literally going by the song, and if it's a really, you know, quick paced song, that was like changing maybe every 2 seconds. That was really, really, really high paced. But still you were able to get the gist of it. You were able to get the gist of what I was doing that day. I just find that reels are really testing how fast people can edit, and it is really high paced. So the likes of that being only 14 seconds, like that takes pressure off me, because I'm thinking, right, I'm only making a 14-second video, get it out as fast as possible. People will see what I'm at that day. And it saves me a lot of time as well. So when it comes to transitions, you've got the hand transition, which is like putting your hand right up onto the lens, jump transition, cross object, down object. These are all very, very easy to do. I have a lot of tutorials for these kind of transitions on my Instagram page, but they're very, very simple. I'll show you one. Now, this is an easy transition. This is called the jump transition. And it's just to show you how easy these are to do and how effective they are. So that's just a jump transition. Again, that video was only about 14 seconds, but it took us maybe 3 hours to film it because we had to find 3 different locations that there wasn't people around watching. That's the other thing about TikToks. When you're doing these silly transitions in public, it can be mortifying. So I'll show you an example of that in a business perspective. So this is Thompson Leisure, which is, they are a rental motorhome and caravan. They are a rental company out in Drumore, but they had seen my video and decided to try it in their promotional video. So this is them using it in their one. And tonight had something wonderful, but bad habits lead to late nights sitting alone, conversations with a stranger up in a note, swearing this will be the last, but it probably won't. I got nothing left to lose or use, I'll do my bad habits lead to what? Now, the likes of that video there, so that's 24 seconds, again, quick pace. Now, that video has been sped up. They tried the jump transition and they get so many more views just by using transitions, by speeding it up. Previously, they had done like slow paced walkthrough videos where they were talking through the caravans and what, you know, could be rented, whereas they're getting a lot more engagement now through doing it more quick paced. Now, when you're doing videos that are quick paced, it means that you've more time to fire out more. So it means that you would have put all your energy into one video and uploaded one video that week. Now they have time to upload maybe 2 or 3 videos that week. So it does save a lot more time for them as well. So these are the different apps that I will not have time to discuss today. The main one, InShot, this is the one that I use on a daily basis. I edit all my TikToks, Reels, everything on InShot. It's so, so easy. It's the best one for adding text and for putting it all together. So all these other apps, I would download them and play around with them. They're all good for different things. So Boosted is like an animated, it's almost like Canva, to be honest. Unfold is good for uploading onto your stories. Clips is brilliant if you have an iPhone for adding subtitles to videos. Motion Leap is a good animation one for adding animation into your videos if you want to add stickers and things like that. InShot, again, is very good for adding stickers for Christmas time. And Pixels is good for free stock videos and stock images as well. So I'll see how much time I have. Right, I have 3 minutes to show you gadgets and stuff that you can get. So monopods and tripods, these are really, really important for stability. I get mine in Argus. You can get them on eBay or anywhere, but they're really, really good, especially the monopods for when you're out and about and if you're deciding to do TikToks and stuff. I would buy the mobile phone attachment separately on Amazon for that. Smartphone rig, which is an attachment that you put your phone into. It means that you can attach lighting, you can attach microphones. Rode mics are the best mics out there. I use a wireless Rode mic in my TikToks and Reels. It means that I can attach to my lapel and I can chat away to the camera. And lights. So behind me, you can't see it, but I have so many different ring lights and different things like that. Newer, Neewer, Newer is the best type of lights to buy. And they are really good for if you're filming in a dark office space, like at this time of the night right now, I would have to use lights for creating Reels and TikToks. And a smartphone gimbal. So this is for any of the videos where I'm walking towards the camera and the camera is moving backwards slowly. It is nice and smooth. You'll see there, the one that I own is the Xeon Smooth 4. That's the one that I use for creating really, really smooth content in Reels. And it is able to film in portrait mode as well, which comes in really handy. So that's me. I managed to fit it all in with 1 minute to spare. I didn't even think I'd be able to do that, but I did it. So I'm going to go into questions here. I don't know if you want to open it up to the floor again and we can both ask questions.
Absolutely. Neith, that was brilliant. Tiana, are you happy to come back and join us? That's perfect. That was fantastic. I'm definitely taking away a lot of information on this. This is fantastic. We do have quite a few questions in. I will just go through them and just direct. Tiana, there's just one for you. I think maybe you may have answered it in the Q&A, but just for everybody to see, which is the question on how to upload your own color palette to Canva. And also this might be a good one as well in terms of uploading your own font and where they can get the font from.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Canva, you have what's called the brand kit. That's on the left-hand side when you're using the desktop version of Canva. By the way, there is a mobile app as well, although I'd always suggest making your templates on a desktop. It's just easier for the bigger screen. So yes, left-hand side, brand kit, you can type in your little color codes, brand it up, and then there's an upload button and you can upload a font. You just have to check that you've got the license to upload it.
Perfect, thank you. And just another one for you, Tiana. In terms of animations, I think everybody saw there was a little animate button on Canva. Would you recommend, in terms of things like stories where you can see those animations, would you recommend using those, or do you think they're quite distracting, or are they a nice addition in terms?
So I would say use them, but use them kind of sparingly. So for example, I suggest my clients use the likes of that for maybe a lunch when they need their graphics to stand out that extra bit more. Otherwise it becomes like a bit of a just a bit of a faff really, and it doesn't look great, you know, because you got everything jumping out at you and animating and going crazy. So use it sparingly.
Brilliant, thank you. We just had one in just from Lisa, just asking Niamh to spell out the name of the mics and lights. Lisa, just so you know, you will receive the slides afterwards, after this webinar. So everything will come to you from in the notes. You'll be able to see those on there. I think Niamh is typing back to you as well at the moment as we speak. And then just another one in, I think for Niamh, but both of you could probably answer this, it'd be brilliant. Does hashtagging make Reels easier? Are they more easily seen with like hashtags?
I usually use the hashtag trending and Reels and hashtag, well, for me, it's video content and video for business, but I would use your own personal hashtags. But I do find that using a couple of hashtags does bring me a different audience that I'm, you know, aiming at. So I would include a couple of hashtags, yeah.
Thank you. And then another one for you, Niamh. Do you put Reels together just by creating loads of short videos?
Yes, so my Reels are made up of 20 to 30 really short videos. And the videos are maybe like 2 to 4 seconds per video. And I put them together on InShot.
Real, thank you. That was another question, I think, was which software do you use to create the Reels? So for, if you're asking, that is InShot, I believe. Then it's just another one there. If everyone can do this on their phones, is there a sort of preference between model of phone? Are the newer ones better for this? If they're buying sort of a company phone to do social media and Reels on, is there any particular thing you would recommend in terms of the difference between iPhone and Android or anything like that?
Oh, sorry, I thought that was for Tierna.
Sorry. Just the reels, that one was, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Could you ask me that again? I was actually thought that was for a Tierna.
No, of course. I mean, and either of you can go for it, of course. It's
Sorry, I was reading the question.
Don't worry. Just whether there is a difference of a preference, if everybody can do all this amazing stuff on the phone, if they were thinking of buying a phone or something to be used for the social media within their sort of business, is there a set model or any sort of requirements you recommend that phone needs to have?
To be honest, I think majority of smartphones are like the perfect quality. I do think that if you're going out and buying a phone right now, it'd be very hard for you to buy a phone that isn't capable of creating reels or TikToks. Like I know you can't even buy like older models of phones these days because the phone companies are keeping them quite up to date. So I do think if you have a smartphone, you've no excuse.
No, I definitely agree. Thank you. And then just for the both of you then, just in terms of content, how crucial do you think the caption and the hashtags are, particularly the caption as well? I think obviously the content itself is brilliant and the design, but when do you have to find that right caption to go with it? In terms of, I don't know, being witty or anything like that, do you think they're that crucial, or the content is a bit more crucial itself?
I would say the caption is incredibly important in that it's now searchable on Instagram. So Instagram sort of overlooked, I think it was, Niamh, is that right? Introduced a search feature. So now, just like Google, it has a very simplified form of search engine optimization in a way. So it's really important to include words in your captions that are relevant to your particular business. So for me, I would be including words like marketing, branding, Canva, you know, all that kind of thing. And therefore, it's much more likely that the algorithm robot is going to go and find out, okay, this is about this stuff, so I'm going to serve it to those people that are interested in it, i.e. for me, that's small business owners. So captions are hugely important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know for myself, any captions that I have to create on Instagram, I do them in notes first. So I'll have, you know, a template that I have my specific hashtags laid out. And it is because, you know, you obviously can't do return. You can't go down a bit on Instagram. So I'll kind of copy and paste it from my notes. But it just means I'll have like a snappy one-liner and an emoji. And then below that, I'll have, you know, a description.
Yeah, I used to do that. And I also now I've got later.com. So it's a pre-scheduling tool and you can actually save your hashtags within it. So it just means at a click of a button, I can pre-schedule my content, attach certain hashtags, just speeds the process up. But yeah, Notes app equally as well, especially if you're live posting.
Brilliant, thank you. It's crazy everything that we have these days, isn't it? There's an option for everything. Pamela has just asked me, if I am new to the Reels, what do I need first of all to get started? What's that first step to take?
I would say just plan out what a video you want to create. It's all about planning, but at the same time, like, you know, you don't want to procrastinate too much. Like I would say, just look at what you want to show your customer and hit record. You know, like I would say as long as it is between 15 to 30 seconds, give yourself 30 seconds for your first one and just, you know, whatever you want to show your customer. Add some music that's trending.
Brilliant. So we'll keep a lookout for any sort of reels from Pamela. Just a last question there, I think. If you have any more, do feel free to pop them in the Q&A box or the chat. Just from Owen is asking, is the intro title important and can thumbnails be added to reels and TikToks? So
for the intro title on mine, I added on InShot. Now my intro title is only there for maybe a second or two, but it's just so that I can have it as my thumbnail. When you go into reels, it will say cover, and you get to pick what you want the cover to be, but I will always pick the cover is what the text is. But it's an easier way that when someone's going through your videos, they can see what your video is about.
Brilliant. These questions are flying in, which is fantastic. We have another one. Can you get trending music on Reels?
Yes, you can. Do you want to answer this one, Tierna? I feel like I'm answering everything about
No, you're the queen of reels. It's all good. But yes, you can. Basically, you can get trending reels. Even just if you look up online, you can find some that are trending as well.
Fantastic.
I steal a lot of my music off TikTok. It's really bad. I go onto TikTok and I'll save videos that have music that's trending on TikTok, and I'll like use InShot to take that music.
Thank you. Pamela has actually just come back and said she's an estate agent. She says, I have tried reels, but it's difficult to capture properties in a short reel. Any thoughts on that? Any advice you could give?
Yeah, I would say. Huh?
I can see you having so much fun with that, just appearing in different properties every single day.
Yeah, like you could jump from room to room. Yeah, I would say when I'm filming estate agents, I always think like outside, inside, kitchen. You know, I think of it in the same order as when you're showing someone around the house. So if you see it like that, and if you break it up into each room in a different section, and add it to the beat of the music, or you could try a transition and go from room to room in a funky way. Yeah, I think it's more the transitions that'll get more engagement, so I would try and play around with those more.
Perfect. And next, and they're flying in for these videos. Do you share your video reel on different social media platforms, or do you create new content or videos for each platform?
No, at this stage, I just have got lazy. I share my reels onto LinkedIn. I share them onto Facebook. I used to do a different style for LinkedIn. I used to do like more corporate style that was filmed landscape, but the reels were getting more engagement on LinkedIn as well. So I've just started sharing the reels to everything. I think reels are probably the most engaging style on the internet right now. When I say reels, I mean like TikTok style, you know, filming and portrait.
Perfect. Sheena has come in and said as well, just in terms of the music, when I search for music on reels, I can only get the music that I've never heard of. I think maybe that's the stock music. She says, how do I get to the current chart music?
My favorite way is just by swiping through reels and viewing really current, like ones that are interesting and engage me sort of in terms of audio. And then what you can do is on the bottom kind of left hand side, you can click on the whatever the sound is, and you can save that to your profile sort of for later, so that then when you go back in to create your reel, you can choose the nice little sound bites that you find just organically by browsing other people's videos. Super handy.
That's a perfect tip. Thank you, Owen. I've been wondering that one. Is there a difference between the music and sort of stock things that appear for a business account and a personal account? With having a business account, does that limit any of the music and the audio?
I don't think so. I've been seeing the same type of music trending on both my business account and personal account. I think you're shown different things. You know, obviously I'm gonna see different things on my personal account, the business account, purely because the algorithms are different. I'll be looking up different things on both accounts, so I'm going to be shown different things. So you'll be shown what you watch the most, I would say.
Perfect. I'm just going to go to Tiana for this one, if you don't mind. I've had a question saying, for a business who sells clothing, how can we consistently churn out fun, witty captions when posting 1 or 2 posts per day?
1 or 2 per day. So you're good, first of all, that's great. But I would say, so content planning is really important. So one of the tips that I would give my clients is to think of content pillars. So maybe think of 4 pillars, right? And maybe your first one, so say for me, my first one is talking on social media about, well, let's use yours for example. So it could be fashion tips, or it could be how to wear a dress, how to wear an accessory, maybe fit in certain figure types. So kind of get 4 key areas maybe that you would write about on social media that's actually going to serve your audience well and engage them. And then that way, if you make a list of content ideas beneath that, at least then when you come to do your posts, you can kind of follow that as a rough guide, if that makes sense. So perhaps of a certain item of clothing, but then in the afternoon, it could be, right, take a look at these nice little close-ups on reels or on whatever, of say like a new necklace that you have in or things like that. So just by switching it up, it keeps it engaging. And then you could complement that with the likes of graphics. So say client testimonials, customer testimonials, fashion tips, even quotes about fashion, all of those could be made on Canva too. So all of a sudden the onus isn't on you to be constantly creating time-consuming content. You could have little posts going out on a rhythm each day too, and hopefully it won't exhaust you.
Brilliant, thank you. Neve, do you have anything to add to that in terms of sort of the captions and making them fun and witty and how to keep it consistent?
I always try to think ahead. If I can think of ahead, I'll have more time to think of like better captions. For me, the hardest part is the content creation. Like if I leave it too late and I'm thinking, oh, I have to put out a video tomorrow, what am I going to put it out about? Like that's the worst way to be, because then my mind just goes blank. So I always try to plan my reels ahead of time. If I see something that I like, if I see like a transition that I like, I'll look up how to do it just so I can show people how to do it. But I think it is thinking ahead, and my notes app is full of ideas. Like if I could be doing my makeup, I could be about to take a shower, and I'll go straight to my notes app and I'll put the idea in. So I'll write down ideas when they come, because they don't come when I want them to.
Even actually in a clothes shop, write down the questions customers ask you in the store. You know, what are the most commonly asked questions? Type those into your notes app, keep those for later, and then answer them through your social channels, because that's stuff that people are likely to be questioning regularly.
Yeah. And I listen to like what people are saying, like conversations that businesses are having. Because usually there's like a common thing that people are questioning that week.
Yeah, it's true.
Perfect. We've just got 2 questions in that are very similar. I'll just sort of combine them together. We just had a question saying, if I was advertising a brand new product and have set up a business account for my product on social media, how often should I post to keep my audience engaged? And then we've had another one in just in general, how often should we be posting content? What's the best way of doing this to target new followers, or best time of day? That's for either of you. To take it.
I mean, I'm inclined to say as often as you can. It is how long is a piece of string though. And I mean, it does depend, because if you're doing your business, say, as a side hustle, it's not realistic to be posting constantly. Ideally, you would post every day, if not more. But I personally, given that I am kind of doing the whole mum thing and businesswoman thing at the same time, it's sort of every other day. And I mean, I have a couple of thousand followers on Instagram. So you know, as long as you're posting relevant content, to be honest, yeah, I just make sure your content is niche and super relevant to the people. That's the most important thing. And then as frequently as you can. What would you say, Neve?
So I had started out doing videos. Well, it was out of fear. I was like totally terrified doing videos. So I had started out maybe about 4 years ago, only uploading videos of myself once a month, and then the engagement and people kept asking for them, so I was like, right, okay, I'm going to start doing them once a fortnight. Now I was putting up other posts in between. Videos can be a bit more time consuming than sharing other types of content, so I aim for once a week for videos. I would put up other posts and photographs and things like that, but when it comes to videos, I do them once a week, because if I pressure myself to do videos more than once a week, I find that I don't do them at all. So I'm kind of like, as long as I'm doing one video a week, I'm happy. So it's whatever you're comfortable with, but I would say aim for one video a week. Like keep putting posts up regularly, like, put up something daily, whether you're sharing someone else's content or engaging with someone else's content. Like don't disappear for a day. But yeah, I would say probably videos once a week would be happy enough. I seen another one there, reels for accountants. So I do get a lot of people who like solicitors and accountants that kind of struggle with reels and TikToks purely because a lot of them come across very like fun and jumping about the place, but there is ways of making them more professional. Like you could still film in portrait, sit down, give 3 tips about your business that day. They don't have to be to funky music all the time, but I would still put them on reels purely because they get a lot more engagement that way.
I just spotted one there about Canva as well, so I might jump in just where to get more detail about Canva and like how to use it, more in-depth tutorials. So you could use YouTube by all means, there's tutorials on there. equally, I share wee tips as well on Instagram, or I also do a 90-minute styling session if you ever want to come along to that, because it's kind of bespoke to whatever your business is.
Perfect, thank you, Tierna. I think we've got time just for so maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and we're just coming to the end. Niamh, we do have one just on filming. When I don't have help filming most of the time, but I want to appear in front of the camera, have you got any tips for this?
When you don't have time filming?
When you don't have help filming, so
Help
there's nobody to film with you, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where the tripod comes in handy, because I barely ever have someone filming me. I have to just sit in the room by myself. But yeah, tripods are a godsend when you don't have someone helping you out. You can bring it to any location you want, and just set it up. So I would say, yeah, tripod would be the best way to do it. Now, if I am doing something where the person has to flip the phone, or I need someone and I'm desperate, and say everyone in the office is busy, I will find someone. I will literally rope in my dad, my brother. I will be like, flip that phone. They haven't a clue what they're doing, but I'm like, I need you to do this for me. So it's just giving the other person the exact guidance to be able to do it right.
Perfect, thank you. And maybe just time for one more. They're still coming in thick and fast, so we may have to do a follow-up on these questions afterwards. How would you create a reel for a business that's not very pretty? For example, a company who works with sewage treatment tanks. How would you capture this type of audience to promote your business?
I mean, everyone will watch anything. Like, everyone will watch everything, especially like sewage and stuff. There is people that would be dying to watch that. I would say you'd be surprised. You'd be totally surprised. Like, I would say still film, as long as you have people in it. If you get your face in front of the camera, it's a lot more engaging for the audience, and they're going to get your personality. So if you're able to say, well, here's where I am today and this is what I'm doing today, and show the process, like, people love the process. It doesn't matter what the process is. People will definitely sit and watch it.
Perfect, thank you, Niamh. I think that is all we have time for at the moment. We've still got questions coming in, so I'll see if we could do a follow-up afterwards. But just mainly to say, Niamh and Tierna, thank you so much for such a stimulating and thought-provoking session. I've definitely taken away tons of tips. As mentioned at the start of the webinar, you will all be receiving any slides used throughout this webinar, as well as the recording from this evening. As well as this, I'll also be sending around a short feedback survey. We'd really appreciate it if you could complete it and just let us know what you thought of this webinar, as well as your best takeaway, what that's been. All feedback is welcome, both positive and negative, as this will help Council design next year's programme of events. So don't forget to tune into Council's Facebook page on Monday evening to see if you are today's daily prize winner. Draws for all 4 days with events will be made on Friday, and if you are the lucky recipient of either an iPad or a Fitbit, one of the council officers will be in contact with you. Lastly, just before we go, we have a packed program of webinars this week, so make sure you check out the program online and register for some more of this week's events. They're all free, and you can register right up until the start time. Again, on behalf of Mid Ulster District Council, thank you for your attendance and interaction this evening. It's been brilliant. I hope we're sending you away with lots of info to use in your daily business. Thank you to Niamh and Tierna, and thank you to everybody who's been here. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.